for voter suppression. So in areas where politicians think that they
Well, she's
cannot win
certainly not
elections,
alone.
they go
But nothing
about there,
comes of
cause
it. Good
trouble,
defending
or
it was.
it becomes a problematic thing. And during election, this large population of these areas are unable to vote. So within
Well,
a
it's turned
state,
into a
this
bit of a
minority
slogan there.
numbers of people that
Yeah,
will
they're just
elect
rushing the
a
passage a bit
governor or
here.
a
It's
senator
all a
and
bit
all of
messy,
that.
isn't it?
Because if those
Manuela
huge
Giuliano.
populated areas are allowed to vote, maybe
Oh, it's a superb
the electoral
challenge.
figures
Very
may be
timely.
different. Yes, yes. So some people may be engaging in all of this to cause voter suppression in communities where they feel large votes could come
Vitor
out. Very
Pereira.
bad history. Yeah, the government should wake up. Yes. I
Well,
mean, put a lot of
possibilities inside
figures
the box.
in and then let's synthesize them. We as journalists continue to support our government. Nobody will want a foreign invasion. And of course, even in the US, we see killings happening every now and
Quick
then. And you
counter
know what
could be on.
came to Nigeria. There were just talks about
Gives it
how
a go.
several
Oh,
blacks are being killed in the US and all of that. And we are just all praying for a peaceful war someday. Well, President Tinubu has said he's approved the recruitment of 30,000 more police officers and the redeployment of officers that protect VIPs to the front lines to secure more parts of the country. How do you assess those two? Very good move,
intelligent
very good move.
defending.
But this is not the first time we're hearing that. Former President Buhari actually, from 2018,
Vitor
he asked
Ferreira.
for recruitment about 6,000 policemen.
Really
And
good
from
build-up, but no
2021,
end
about
product.
10,000
Oh, they stopped that
policemen
really
were
well,
to be
didn't they?
recruited
Really
every
well
year. And so
organised off
the
the
idea
ball
was that
there.
before he would end his tenure, we would have a huge quantum. And so what
Can
really
she?
happened to those policemen
Oh,
that
that is a
were
superb save.
recruited? Because what we heard at some point was that they were just constables, supernumerary policemen and all of that.
Plenty of
They were
support here.
given lots of firepower. Some of them were
Well,
not even
disappointing
paid.
end
There
to
was
the
a time
move.
when some of these recruited policemen were protesting that they were not being paid. And the federal government said no, it wasn't
I
their
think
job to
most
disclose
fans
these
would
things.
be
And
pretty happy with
got
this
the
man's
pension of
display
the
so
benefits.
far.
Those
Yeah,
things
that's
have
been
been
a
settled.
good half
And
for
then let's
him.
talk about
Clinical
issues
with
of the
his
agro
finish, but
rangers. Very
he's
briefly.
maintained an
Yeah,
intensity to his
issues of
performance.
the agro
He'll be looking
rangers,
to
the,
keep that going in
the
the second
forest
half.
rangers that the federal government has said that they will. And it's been staying for too long. We don't know so much as to what's happening. The agro rangers division of the Nigerian Security and Civil
And
Defense
they
Corps
keep it
is
moving.
also something that we don't know
Well,
what's going on.
nothing
Now,
comes
the
of it. It looked
NSCDC
promising.
was brought in place to help protect facilities and all of that. But the mandate of the NSCDC is changing the civil defense. Now, he has asked the civil defense to be protecting the
Alex
VIPs and all of
Balde.
that. What happens to the installations? Because the idea of bringing the civil defense was to protect public facilities and
Real
all of that.
chance.
But of course, like in
Off the post and back in play.
there's
And
an
a goal it is.
system
They
that
lead
is
by two
protecting
now.
public security.
Fully
And the best
deserved.
that you can not up all these
Giuliano.
VIPs and protect Nigeria's law. And that's why I keep advocating. We need a
And she's
national guard,
driving her
a
team
strong
forward.
military
And intercepts
police
again.
system.
Yeah,
No
really good
different
work
other
there to see
police
what was
system,
happening,
police
wasn't it?
force system that we have. A national guard that will be able to secure this country better.
Well,
Yes,
she keeps moving.
we do it. Well, we'll keep an eye.
They took care of the situation defensively.
Sandberg is a nice director of using political editing.
Is this the moment? And there it is! 3 goals in front now. An immense performance.
Welcome back to the morning show here on RS News. Joining us now with stories trending around the world is Umichi Wait on this beautiful Monday morning. Good morning, Dr. Amati. How is this morning looking down? Goodness. Good morning. How are you this morning? Thank you. You look stunning. My lady.
Well, here's the
Hey, this is
replay,
not
and it's
Tunisia.
so
Alright?
impressive
No,
how
no, no, no.
quickly
I
they go from
understand.
back to
I
front.
understand.
And then
Dr.
from
Amati.
that sort of range, she's never going to
Okay.
miss that, is
Oh, you
she?
know, you
It's an
guys have
easy
been
finish in the
Good
end.
morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with some good news
20
from
minutes to
State.
go.
Where 38 worshippers in
Oh, I
Eruku,
thought they were onto
Town
something
Ekiti
there.
local government area of the state, who were recently abducted, have regained their freedom. Governor
James.
Abdurrahman Abdurazak announced their release on Sunday, crediting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's hands-on approach for securing their freedom. The governor thanked
Dumfries.
the Office of the National Security
And very
Advisor,
nicely
the Department
positioned
of
to win
State
it back.
Services, the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Intelligence Agency, and the Nigerian Police, which deployed 4 new tactical teams to Kwara State on presidential
Well shown
directive to
inside.
secure their release.
Oh,
Well,
what a
here is some of the
save!
victims regain their freedom.
Oh, superb tackle.
Has such good news. This is the kind of swift action Nigerians want to
Could
see
be
from their
dangerous.
leaders. Well, President
That is
Tinubu in a
really
post on
alert
X on
defending,
Sunday
just when the
reiterated his
situation looked
commitment to
dangerous.
securing the nation and also revealed that 51 out of the missing students of the Catholic school in Niger State have been recovered. His post reads,
Really good
my
challenge.
fellow Nigerians, you will recall that I cancelled my trip to the G20 summit in South Africa to enable me coordinate the security efforts at home, thanks to the efforts of our security
Threading
forces.
it.
Over the last few days, all the 38
Well, they
worshippers
pulled one
abducted
back,
in
but
April
perhaps a bit too late in this contest. They haven't been at the races this evening.
That 51 out of the missing students
So the
of
current
the
scoreline,
Catholic
4-2.
school in Niger State have been recovered. I am closely monitoring the security situation
Alex
nationwide.
Balde, well
Receiving
read to win
continuous
possession back.
updates from the front line. Let me be clear. I will not relent. Every Nigerian in every state has the right to safety, and under my
Oh,
watch,
sloppy
we will
passing.
secure this nation and protect our people. The reactions have
create
trailed.
something?
I'll take one from our favorite doctor who
Oh,
wrote
she wasn't necessarily
51
favourite to win that
students
challenge.
recovered, 38 worshippers rescued, yet no arrest. Not one
Useful
terrorist
ball.
arrested, not one terrorist killed,
Opportunity.
not
Well,
one
how has
terrorist
he kept
prosecuted.
that out?
Just
Well,
a
that was all
declaration of
about
radical
split-second
rescue and
reactions, and
recovery
it
of
showed us just how
kidnapped
sharp he is.
humans
That's a
from the
great
hands
start.
of terrorists. That's all you need to know. That this government just pays money
And
to
suddenly on
terrorists,
the front foot.
reduces international shame and disgrace. A truly serious government will be making arrests, parading criminals, charging
James.
terrorists to court, and showing it is serious in the
Well, good
fight
run and good
against
ball control.
insecurity. I believe
A
I
long
heard
way
you
from
also
the
mention
perfect
this
pass.
during the headline.
Yeah, she's got to take
What
care of the
happened?
ball
How
better
come
there.
we're seeing these people being released? No
And the fourth official
arrest.
confirming
That's
that
what
we'll
we've
have
always
one
been asking
additional
for.
minute.
Meanwhile, if you're making rounds on social media, show
Well,
the
there was
moment
impending danger,
terrorists who
but good
allegedly
defending. And there
orchestrated
it
the
is, the
kidnappers
final
left
whistle.
dead
And the
security forces to rescue the victims from their dead. In the video, one of the terrorists could be heard saying, I greet you all, my fellow Muslims. I heard you're protesting. What is the protest for? Is it because of the students that were kidnapped? Since you know where they are, you can come get them.
One gift can change everything. With Woof, see how fast you're aging and learn how to slow it down.
Can come get them. This is the level of brazen confidence that these criminals, show every time we see these sort of videos on TikTok, on social media. It shows that they have absolutely no fear of consequences and are openly mocking both the authorities and concerned citizens. Meanwhile, the Christian Association of Nigeria in Niger State confirmed that 50 pupils abducted from St. Mary's Private Catholic Primary and Secondary School escaped from captivity and returned home
Well,
themselves.
nights like these are just what you hope for as a spectator. A warm welcome. I'm Derek Ray, and joining me for commentary today here on the gantry is the former England winger, Sue Smith. And what we have coming up for you is a live division rivals contest. What are your expectations for today?
12
Well,
members of
being in
staff
and around the
remain in
ground before kick-off,
captivity,
the fans are
bringing the
buzzing.
total
Can he
number still
convert?
held
And the
by the
attempt
abductors
just
to
wide. So unfortunate.
253 people. I have 253
This is
people
how the
still
visitors
in
will set up
captivity
today.
at
Carvajal
this moment.
starts with
First of all,
Ferland
kudos to
Mendy
the
in the
rescue
fullback
efforts
positions.
for our
Florian
choir
Wirtz plays with
people at
Rodri in
home.
central
I mean, you saw
midfield.
that
And the
video with the
focal
elderly
point in
woman
attack
who
today,
Dr.
Marcus
Matthew,
Rashford.
when we first played that video, you said you were shocked. A lot of people were shocked to see that even the elderly gets kidnapped in our country.
Rashford getting forward.
It's just the
Can he
brazenness
put it
and
away?
the audacity
And a
of
goal!
playing games in
1-0,
such a way
and what a
that
fast
we
start
now
they've
have to
made to
spend
this
time
game.
almost appealing to
Manuela
bandits,
Giuliano.
the people that held in captivity without a show of force from the government. So on
And
one
playing
hand,
it
I'm
through.
glad you started off with the good news of the fact that, okay, this is what they've
This
done.
could be the
Since we've
equaliser.
spoken, the
Oh,
38 all
denied by the
parishioners
post.
in Ekuru have been released. We see the
Up a
rejoicing right there.
disappointing dead
But
end.
when we talk about the 51 students, the
Oh,
language is
moving it
different. In some
nicely.
instances, they said that they
Excellent
were rescued.
defending.
Others say that they escaped. Some people say that, like, but the CAN has come out to say that they came out by themselves. They escaped. The 51 students came out by themselves. So we
What can
cannot
she do with it
attribute
now?
that to
Well,
efforts
it
by
came to
security
nothing in the
agencies
end.
because we still have
And
253
showing the
people still in
importance of win.
captivity. There are a number of issues around this, and that's why I asked earlier that around safety.
Well, you really
If
have
we
to
don't have
applaud the
arrests
ambition.
or we see a show of
It's
force, so
there
like
for him.
these bandits
Well,
and
no
criminals
mistake from the
are
keeper. Acting
beheaded
decisively.
and they face the full of the wrath of the law, it will just be a case of when next, when
Khadija
next.
Jani.
It means that they haven't
And the
yet
challenge
dealt with
halts
the
them in their
problems by
tracks.
just dealing with surface issues. And then like releasing headlines that would make people happy. But the real issue around the people behind it, whether those who are the ones abducting or the people financing
Well, he's certainly not
the
alone.
bandits, we have not seen
But
any
nothing
action
comes of it.
done to them. Until we have that energy, we cannot celebrate completely.
Guru
Beyond the
Wrighton.
release of these 253 people, until we have the fact that these criminal bandits or whatever the chain of command is
Swamping
arrested,
opportunity.
unfortunately, we're not yet
Oh,
anywhere close
terrific
to finding
agility to deny
peace
them
when
a
it comes
goal.
to insecurity issues in
Wow, how
Nigeria. And
did he
that's the
save
call for
that?
the
It was
president
so
this morning.
close to
We
him.
had Dr.
World
Family
class
earlier on
goalkeeping.
dimension
And that's
the
comfortably
extent of the
gathered.
problems. And he was talking about how unfortunately the response is not anywhere near enough. The cosmetic response, as he describes
Jani.
it, is not what Nigerians are looking
Very
for.
quick
We want
thinking there.
solutions. We don't want to be thinking of the next place where they're going to attack
Decent
or
looking pass.
parents withdrawing their children from school. If that
Oh,
happens, it means
chance.
they have won.
Oh,
It means
good
the
save.
security has won, the means terrorism has won, it means banditry has won, and this government has not been able to
And the
secure the rights of
referee
properties in
has
Nigeria.
given the
To end this
corner.
video, see,
So maybe scope here
bring
for them
back
to
home
add to
all
their lead.
253. But beyond that, can we have arrests? Can we have
Decent
convictions?
chance.
Can we have
Oh,
people
terrific
identify
save.
those who are behind these atrocities? That's what we want. Perfect. Well
He's
said.
driven in the corner.
253
And
in Niger
perfectly
State.
positioned.
And 24 our girls are still in captivity from Kebbi State. We still have our girls in captivity. Well, the United States President Donald Trump's Fox Radio interview, in which he
Brighton.
called Nigeria and the federal government a disgrace, while speaking on attacks targeting Christians in the country, sparked a wave of
And the full
reactions on
kit's
social
looking
media
menacing
over
here.
the weekend. Trump spoke
Oh, it might
during
be.
Brian
And a
Kilmeade's show,
goal.
threatening
Real
to withdraw
excitement
aid
here.
from
The
Nigeria,
equaliser.
accusing the federal government authorities of being
Back
ineffective
underway.
in
Level
protecting
pegging.
Christians.
One goal
Let's take a
apiece in
listen.
this game. Rashford.
It's a disgrace. The whole thing is a disgrace. They really do
The ball with Rodri.
It's a genocide. I'm really angry with that. We get a lot of
Pressing pass.
substance to Nigeria.
Nicely timed tackle.
Stop it. The government said that they're very ineffective. They're killing Christians everywhere. And I got involved in it too, so we can talk about it.
They've
Well,
got the
Trump's
goal in
comments
front.
generated diverse views, while some
Two-goal set in
Nigerians on
succession.
social media
Now they
agree
have the
that the
lead.
government
No
has been
wonder they're
ineffective
celebrating.
in stopping the killings and kidnappings. Others view these comments as a disrespectful attack on our sovereignty, and I'll
Impressive
take some
build-up.
reactions. Eric Okafor,
And
Newton
he got to it
X.
fairly easily.
Nigeria is not a disgrace, and no president should ever say that about another country. If Trump has a problem with
Plays
foreign
with a
leaders,
positional
he
sense
should
that is
address them
second to none.
and not the whole country.
Rashford.
Jude wrote on X. Trump's remarks, however inflammatory, expose the
They
painful
say,
contradiction
oh,
Nigeria has lived
superb
with for
save.
far too long. A nation that calls itself a giant, yet
Delivering
repeatedly
it.
fails to protect its most vulnerable
Intelligent
citizens.
ball.
But his comments also
Well,
demand
going for
scrutiny.
power from
When an
there,
American
but not
president
worrying the
labels another
goalkeeper in the
sovereign
slightest.
nation a disgrace, it reflects not only Nigeria's
Looking at the
security
stats, it's
failures,
been
but
chance
also the
after chance. I've
geopolitical
no
arrogance
idea
that
how
often
they're behind.
accompanies
You can
Western
see the
interventionist
frustration on the
rhetoric.
touchline and
His
amongst the
threat
players.
of military
They'll have
action
to put
reveals
one of
a
these
disturbing
opportunities away
truth.
soon.
When a state cannot
And now
guarantee
they've
the
got to put
safety
their
of its own
mind
people,
towards winning
it
the ball back.
inadvertently invites
An effective
external
challenge.
actors to question and potentially undermine its sovereignty.
Marcus
True
Rashford.
disgrace does not
Almost a
come
chance
from
they could get
Trump's
caught
words.
out on the
It
break here.
comes from a government that has normalized suffering, politicized grief, and allowed insecurity to become the country's most predictable feature. Nigeria must
Giuliano.
make a choice: reclaim its dignity through decisive, humane governance, or continue
McCabe.
outsourcing its moral
Well, it's a good
accountability
move
to
in the
foreign
making from the
leaders
full
who will
kits,
not hesitate
but really
to
sticking to their
weaponize
task defensively.
its weakness. Meanwhile, Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka over the weekend issued sharp criticism aimed at President Trump over his mission to intervene
He
and
has
wipe out
teammates around him.
Islamic terrorists in Nigeria, calling Trump a madman.
Excellent vision.
Soyinka made the comments while
Well,
speaking with
technically
journalists
offside,
after
but not
a
by a lot.
meeting with Governor
No, it can't have been.
Hyacinth
It really
He made a
looked like he
mistake. Let's
timed
take
his
a look.
run to perfection.
Jim
He's
Hurts.
marginally offside.
Just do Tai
Really
Chi.
unlucky that.
It heals.
Oh, disappointing
Okay,
end to
over
that.
50 should not be
Yeah, it was
running,
nice up to a
lifting,
point and then
or
just
punching.
lacked that
This
bit
is
of
not the way.
quality, didn't they?
It's called Tai Chi. In 1 week, you'll see your energy.
Oh,
In 2
strained
weeks,
every
you'll
sinew
feel
to get
your
there.
breath.
After a meeting
Playing
with
it in.
Governor Hyacinth he made a mistake.
Very
Let's take a
effective
look.
pass.
Really foolish of
And with that,
us
the first half draws
to
to a
reject
close.
aid in resolving any problem, whether economic, cultural, religious. It is stupid. If there's a possibility of allying with one another,
So back
we should take
underway,
it.
the second half
But
begins.
because I'm here, or I have some difficulties, I will not accept
Mendy.
aid from
The
a
ball with
madman.
Rodri.
That's all I'm
Well,
doing.
patient passing could be the key to
My
bringing
definition
themselves
of
level.
a madman, a woman for that matter, is
Trying
one
to tee
who,
it up.
when
Well, it
he or
looked highly
she
promising,
says,
but they got
I'm
nothing out of
helping
it.
you, is actually complicating your problems for you on so many levels. We know why he's talking. It's because why he's talking about Trump is because he doesn't want to criticize. How do you deal with Nigerians like that? So the problem is on so
And
many
this might
levels,
not be the ideal
including
situation for them.
especially
Offside the
the
decision.
level of the citizens of this nation.
Soyinka's comments come just a
Rashford.
month after the United States revoked
Florian
his
Wirtz.
visa and banned him from the country. The Nobel laureate has been a
Well,
long-time
it's a good-looking
critic of the
position.
Trump
Is there a goal in
administration
the
and
future?
has frequently
Well, disappointing
criticized
end
its
to the move.
policies on immigration and foreign intervention.
Giuliano.
Meanwhile,
Can she find the
presidential
right
candidate
pass?
Peter Obi has suggested that he would have welcomed help from President Donald Trump to eliminate
And there it
terrorists in
breaks
Nigeria.
down, but credit
Peter
to
Obi
the
made the
defence.
comments while speaking at the 2025 Leadership Forum Conference at the University of Nigeria's Enugu campus over the weekend. Obi stated that it is not
Manuela
right to start
Giuliano.
debating when someone
And
has
showing
offered
good
you
game
something
awareness.
that you have been looking for, adding that as president, a country's number one priority should be security. Let's take a
Rodri.
look before we come back for a discussion.
Eduardo Camavinga. The ball with Rodri. A really single-minded piece of defending to make sure nothing untoward happened. Annoyingly, there it breaks down. Well, possession changing hands over and over again. Oh, look at this. A tremendous run. This could level it. And it is the equaliser. Parity now. And who's to say what's going to happen next? And cutting it out. It's a clever run here from Rashford.
All right, Dr. Vati, we've seen diverse views on Trump's intervention. That first soundbite I played from the Fox Radio
Now
of
to
Trump calling
restore their
Nigeria
lead
a
here.
disgrace was
And he
number one
puts it
trend
away
on social
confidently.
media over the weekend. And then we also heard from
3-2
Professor
it
Wole
is. Who would
Soyinka,
have predicted that before a ball was
outrightly
kicked?
rejecting the idea of, military intervention in Nigeria. Where we see Peter Obi here saying, if someone offers you help, correct it. Do not debate. This one's
Okay, I mean,
And this to
there
level
are
it.
many views
yes.
based on perception, based on affiliations, based on fears,
Now options are plenty.
anxieties, and all of that. But President Trump, referring to Nigeria as a disgrace and the country is a disgrace. And what's now what he said
Oh, he's left his
Yes.
marker for
when
dead.
you first said Nigeria would be
Well,
the
she
top
has
2 million
cause to be
list of
grateful to
countries
her teammates.
of particular concern. Nigeria was so designated
James.
when he was president in his first term. And then when President Biden came down, President Biden removed Nigeria from that destination. That is a
20
weakness.
minutes to go.
And on that occasion, he had made a point that Nigeria is
Well, a
disgraced.
joy to watch.
Well,
Yes,
the
that's
Nigerian
gifted,
government
isn't
must not
she?
think that we are a disgraced country. He
We'll
has
take it
repeated
away. He won the
the
ball.
same liberal, in the interview that you referred to,
Promising
that this
pass.
country is a disgrace. Then we have like,
Cuts in from the
congressional
flank.
hearing of the African Committee
There's
of
the shot.
the US
A
Congress.
goal!
Well, if
That's
legislation is coming to
super
Nigeria,
today.
we
He
don't have
simply
this.
cuts on
We
him.
need
No wonder
the
he's
endorsement of
celebrating.
Congress, the approval of Congress. And that's why he has to
So
go
the
through
current
Congress.
scoreline,
Because you
4-2.
cannot deploy American troops without Congress endorsed. Otherwise, that would be,
He's
unauthorized
in behind.
aggression
And a
by the American
goal!
government
There he
against
is! And
Nigeria.
the double!
Now,
They
as
just
for
can't
the
subdue
suggestion
him.
by Mr. Pitu, it is on record. The
Agbadu
Nigerian government has said
on
we
to
are ready to
bronze.
cooperate with
Debinya.
anybody who is suffering harm, whether it's the United States or it's any other country. That was
Well,
one
the
of the
keeper
first
had plenty
points
to think
that
about
the
with
Tinubu
bodies
administration
around him.
made. And then following up by sending a delegation to the United States, a
Ball
delegation
played
that
nicely.
included his composition. There's only one Christian on that list,
Loves
and
to
it is
cut in
led
from the wide
by
areas.
by
The
an
keeper taking
advisor
care of the
or by
situation.
a minister. The ministers were just following some of the service
Just 10
chiefs that we
minutes to
have.
go.
They probably have no business with but the emphasis
Clean
was
challenge.
security and
Well,
defense.
he's certainly not
And
alone.
also looking at the diplomatic side
Oh,
of it.
could
Even
be.
the NIA
In it
was not
goes!
part
Such a
of
complete
it. So,
performance.
well,
Four
they've gone
in
there.
front now.
Eventually, when we raised the alarm here, that even our national security advisor cannot be talking to a first-time congressman, and they found a way around it.
Marquinhos.
And national security advisor Rubadu met with Pete Hexen because in diplomacy, equals come to equals, which was why Ramaphosa says he's not going to hand over to a junior U.S. official at the end of the G20, and it's not the
Oh,
United States.
breezing past
Within
him.
protocol, reasons, President Ramaphosa can't.
Good defending in the end,
When
and danger
Mr. Peter
averted for
business
now.
cooperation, post and reflect and all that, well, the Nigerian government is already going back. Now, President,
Well, that's a clever ball.
that's a President, Professor Wole
Needs to
Soyinka
tidy
has
up
been very
defensively.
consistent. Donald Trump. He says he's
Tadijatu
going to
Jani.
write Idi Amin part 2,
Yes.
Trump, Idi Amin,
Very quick thinking there.
kind of thing. And
And
when
we'll have just
Trump
one
was
additional
sentenced,
minute.
they voluntarily, relinquish his green card because, it will appear under Professor
And
Sheridan.
that is the end of the game. It goes into the history.
Under the Trump dispensation. And this time around, they are also not stop criticizing either the visa policy or the plan to come and attack Nigeria. When he says he will not take help from a madman, there's a popular saying that even when your enemy offers you food, you don't take it. But that's his own perspective.
Yes.
And there are some Nigerians who are saying, oh, Trump should come. He should come and shoot everybody that is available.
Yes.
But the narrative has many dimensions.
Right.
Even in the US, Sarah Jacobs and some of the other Congress people who took part in the debate, some of them are saying Trump is reckless, and they are Americans.
Right.
Some of them are saying he has no
Welcome
powers to go
everyone
and
on a
attack
perfect night
anybody in
for
Nigeria.
football with the
The
floodlights
receivable
beaming
point
down.
is
I'm
the
Derek
point
Ray,
needed
ready
there.
to bring you
They
match
were
commentary,
safety
and alongside me
of
is
everybody.
Stuart Robson.
And
And we've got
Nigeria has
action from the division rivals
President
league
Trump
coming right up.
saying, well,
What might we see today?
Yes, thanks as always. We've got two good teams here, so I'm anticipating a really good game. The atmosphere is electric inside the stadium before kick-off, and hopefully we're not disappointed.
Well, that's how to keep the opposition at bay. And the lineup for the home side. Virgil van Dijk plays alongside Alessandro Bastoni in central defence. Kevin De Bruyne starts alongside Declan Rice in central midfield. And leading the line, Lautaro Martinez.
This is it. I mean, I think one of the things
And
that
the
Peter
lineup
Obi
for
said
the
in
full
that
kit.
interview was the
Well,
fact
it's a
that
back four,
the
a
federal
narrow
government is
midfield
still
three, and a
debating
very
whether there's a
disconnected front
Christian
three.
genocide
But
or
if the
not, should
midfield
have
players
just
give good
immediately
support to the central
accepted
striker,
the
this
collaboration.
4-3-3
That
system
debate
could
about
work worked really
journalistic.
well
You
today.
said genocide or not is quite
And a
unnecessary.
goal
It's
it
one of the
is.
things that we've
But
been talking
offside
about
is the
here.
verdict.
Well,
Meanwhile,
it's a good finish,
a
but
new
he was
video
just
featuring
offside.
Reverend
Great
Ezekiel
decision by
Jackson
the assistant.
saying that he has been told to stop
For the lead
exposing the
here.
government over
In
reports
it
of
goes.
Christian
That was
genocide
a nicely for
again.
starters. First
Reverend
goal of the
Dachino
game.
made the comments, Minister, adding that he refuses to
Manuela
stay
Giuliano.
silent because the government's inaction has endangered Christians nationwide. He also condemned comments made by
Bukayo
Islamic
Saka.
cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, who alleged on
Smart defending.
Facebook that a doctor told him empty coffins were being buried to fabricate
And moving the
claims
ball
of a
forward
Christian
with genuine
genocide.
purpose
Let's
here.
take a look.
Why is
Well,
Amazon
fine
paying me
reading of the situation.
$600 a day? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way to intensely make money by
Manuela
pairing
Giuliano.
Amazon with the power of AI without ever selling physical products. I promise you've never heard about this before.
Gianni.
I just created some simple digital
He read the
products,
situation
and I put them
defensively
up on
and did his
Amazon,
job.
and it was so exciting. The first time I tried it, I made $14, and I was like, oh my
Declan
goodness, this
Rice.
actually works. I've
Can
gone
he
through
find the
free,
right
and the
pass?
coolest part
Well, it
is
came to nothing
Amazon
in the
puts
end.
over 300 million customers just a click away. So age, experience, qualifications, none of it matters.
Sabinia.
I want to share my full system with you, but obviously this is an ad. So I'm hosting a free workshop where I walk you
Martinez.
through my system step by step. This system
And good
transformed
anticipation.
my life and it's sprinkled a little magic in the lives of hundreds of other people. Now, I hate workshops that are so slow and boring that they send you to sleep. So I
Rosicki.
made sure that this workshop moves fast and that it's fun, exciting, and informative. That said, if you love
Brainina.
face-to-face selling,
Textbook
don't
defending
click
inside
on
the
this
box.
ad. You see, with this, you never need to talk to anyone or push products on people.
Katie
So this
McCabe.
definitely isn't a good fit for someone with a salesy personality type. However, if you want to learn a low-key way to potentially make
Brighton.
some extra money working from home
Well,
that
it
can cover
wasn't the
some
best of
important
touches,
bills,
and
maybe
she couldn't
even
keep it in
fun
play, so a
trips,
throw in here.
don't wait. Click anywhere around this video and watch the free
Martinez.
workshop now. Discover how we create reliable
Runs with it.
streams of steady passive income
Martinez.
without complex
And it's opening
websites,
up.
unneeded stress,
And a
or huge
goal!
startup
They've
costs.
increased
So
the
you can
lead,
get
and they
free
don't want to be
valuable
throwing it
businesses.
away from here.
We've designed these bonuses to help you
So back
succeed
underway
most as
with the lead
fast as
standing at
possible.
2-0.
I can't promise this training will be free forever, so watch it now. Could this be the stepping stone you need to start living the kind of life you've
Martinez.
always dreamed of? There's only one way to find out.
Looking run.
So click now,
De
watch the
Bruyne.
training,
Can he put
claim
it
your
away?
bonuses.
And
You'll
a
be glad you did.
goal to
I'll see you
increase
on
their
the other side.
advantage to 3. Can they be stopped? Giuliano. And danger averted. Well read. And nice vision.
That pass is always on.
Tomasz Rosicki. This looks more than decent. A goal! An exceptional performance this. 4 to the good now.
Thank you. How much was that again? It's £5.50. £7.
Claims of a Christian genocide. Let's take a look.
Somebody says, Reverend Gatchuma, we stop exposing the government. You're in government. You're
So on with the game, and when one team cuts loose in this fashion, it's hard to know what to do next. Declan Rice. And a timely intervention. Bukayo Saka. Martinez. Is this the moment? Brilliantly blocked. Super pass. Can she do it? Oh, a goal! She's gone and done it! She's gone and found the net! Goals in plentiful supply. 4-1 currently. Bukayo Saka. And snuffed out the danger immediately. did well to win the ball back. Brighton.
Well, Reverend Thatcher was clearly
And
not
threading it
backing
through.
down despite the pressure. The question is, who exactly told him to
What a
stop
vital
sticking
intervention.
out? Meanwhile, Pope Leo XIV has stated that both
Bukayo Saka.
Christians and Muslims are being slaughtered
De Bruyne now.
nationwide. The
And he
Pope
has
made the
options
comments on
available.
Tuesday last week while
And
responding
it's a
to a
quality
question
pass.
from the press about whether Christians are truly safe in Nigeria. The Pope responded that
Slight
insecurity
miscue in the
affects
final
all
third.
people in Nigeria,
That was
while
really good
linking it
defending.
to economics and the control of land. Let's take a look.
I'll answer the first question. I think in Nigeria, in certain areas, there is certainly a danger for Christians, but for all people, Christians and Muslims have been slaughtered. There's a question of terrorism. There's a question of that has to do a lot with economics, if you will, and control of the lands that they have. Unfortunately, many Christians have died, and I think it's very important to seek a way, the government with all peoples, to promote authentic religious freedom.
Away they
Respect
go
for all
again.
people.
Second half is
Well, the Pope
underway
is
here.
essentially saying that both Christians and Muslims are being killed. The question now is, will this
De Bruyne.
balanced perspective from the Vatican cool down the heated rhetoric about a Christian
The ball
genocide
with
in
Martinez.
Nigeria? The question
Oh, this is looking
did
promising.
not
Well,
It's,
just
you know, it's a
fractionally
heavy
wide.
question,
Good
and
strike.
we've been debating this issue for a while now. But I think one of the things that stands out to me is that
Lauren
OG,
James.
the world cannot even agree whether there's a
Who
genocide
wants
in
to make a challenge?
there are people who have reinforced it and taken
Determined
it to the
defending.
various international platforms, and then there are people who still dispute
Kevin
it.
De Bruyne.
So my question is also around the term genocide, because we've gone into a very dangerous place in the world, in society, where the term genocide is going to be depicted as something subjective,
A
whereas it's an
glut of
objective term.
goals.
There's a definition
5-1
for
it
it.
is.
So I think we need to be careful about venturing into the space where we turn genocide into a subjective, oh, he said, she said.
Guru
The
Reiter.
truth of the matter is that there is
Manuela
evidence that
Giuliano.
there are mass targeted killings. And in the process of these killings, there are also
Well, the pressure was
communities,
intense,
entire
and
communities
he
that are
knew
being
it.
affected that are not Christian. That's a fact on the ground. So whether it's a genocide, whether it's not a genocide,
Martinez.
unfortunately, in this year 2025, the entire world
De Bruyne
has
now.
gotten to a point where we cannot
And look
agree on
at
what
this.
constitutes a genocide. That's number
Well,
one.
a
Number
decent
two,
effort,
on
but not quite on the target.
Reverend
This
Dechomo,
has
very
been a really
unfortunate.
good
His
performance, as
Facebook
you can
page has
see.
also been
They've
taken
created
down,
numerous
and I
chances,
believe
they're winning the game
his
comfortably,
take on
and
that,
they could
or
go on
they're
and score
saying
more.
that
This
he's
could be truly
alleged of
embarrassing.
being somebody who's jeopardizing national
Well, doesn't have to do
security
it on her
based
own.
off of the messages that he's transmitting through his Facebook
She's
page.
finessed
So
it
this is
in.
very unfortunate.
Brilliant
It's very
chip.
unfortunate because this is a
So
democracy.
as they kick
People are
off the
allowed
game
to
again,
speak
you
freely.
have to
He
ask the
has
question,
evidence.
is this
He
gap
doesn't just
simply
wake up in
unbridgeable?
the morning and speak. He's not inciting. He's not. He has videos that he has. He documents.
Well, a
He backs
top-notch
all
piece
of
of
his
defensive judgment.
allegations with
Yeah, that was well
evidence.
read.
So I think it's very important for us not to enter into the realm of silencing people, of censorship, especially people who have their own truths
Danger
that
building.
they are sharing. Having said
Chance to
that,
finish.
do we
Oh
want
my word.
the
And
narrative
excellent
to cool
timing
down?
for
Is
you.
it becoming
What
too
a
divisive?
challenge.
Is it becoming too polarizing?
Could pose a threat on the
Absolutely.
counter.
However, we're not going to do that by trying to put
Have to pay
lipstick on
attention
the issues.
defensively.
The
Oh,
only
it's on.
way that we're going to
A
do this is by tackling the
goal. And an
issues head on.
exceptional
What are
performance
the
then.
issues? We've
4 to the
dissected
good
them ad
now.
nauseam. Now even Pope Leo is having
Well,
his
just look
voice
at
to
this
say
again.
there are
The speed
economic
of
issues.
counter-attack
There
is
are
so
land-related
impressive.
issues.
And
And
then
this
the
is what we've
perfect
been
finish from
saying.
Lautaro.
We've been
He
saying that
really does
from
hit
the
this
time,
with power.
there
That's
was
an
a
excellent
drought,
goal.
from the time climate change started impacting certain places, certain
Well,
communities
good
started
anticipation.
migrating further south into search of arable land. Here in Nigeria, we even introduced the Ministry of Livestock. And the Ministry of Livestock was supposed to try and harness some of
Agbadu.
these activities around the herding
Giuliano.
of cows and so forth to be
And he's in a
restricted. But I
decent
remember when
position.
the Ministry of
Well, that
Livestock was
attack
now
collapsed
inaugurated, they
completely.
said that they would need a
Yeah, just
decade
stopped it in its
to
tracks
be
there.
able to
Ready
sanitize
to break,
the movement
perhaps?
of cattle and to be able to create ranches and so forth, which many people thought, so what was the essence of creating this
Oh,
ministry if
that's
they're going to
it!
tell us that
It's
it's going to
one
take a
goal
decade
after
to come
another,
up with
and it
issues,
speaks to the
with
quality
solutions
of that
around
performance.
cattle rearing and the herders? leaders and so forth. So there are so many moving pieces. Earlier in the morning, I also spoke about the fact that we need to also acknowledge the fact that globally, terrorism is migrating from the Middle East because they've taken out ISIS, they've taken out Al Qaeda. And these are groups that you see over 80,000 fighters. They've been dwindled down to 1,000 fighters. They haven't given up. They've
Well, here it is
migrated to
again.
places
The
like
little ones who
Africa, to the
started it all
Sahel,
off,
to places
while the
like
mood
Nigeria,
in the
because they're
box is
coolest
equal to it.
rulers, because they feel
Such good
that the
timing.
states here
What
have
a goal.
failed the people. So it's easy to indoctrinate young fighters. And this is the place that they feel that they
Into the
can find
final
rest.
20
So
minutes.
the issues exist. There must be no censorship. There
Good
must be no
oration.
silencing of voices. People must
Now
be allowed
Gianni.
to express their truth.
It's looking
And the government,
promising.
in essence, must just do its duty and do
Well, a
its
touch too heavy
responsibility.
there.
And that is the best way for us to be able to tone down the inflammatory rhetoric
Good
that
looking
is now
pass.
becoming a little bit too common and
Rosicki through on
consistent.
goal.
Is if people
A
can feel this
goal!
taste.
He's
I
dispatched
don't
it,
think
much to the
gathering
sheer
people
delight of the
is
fans.
really the way to resolve this current crisis. I like your comment on that, but I'll take this before you
Well,
comment.
here's the replay,
Meanwhile,
and
on
just look
Sunday,
how quickly they
PPU
break forward
ex-president
once they win the ball back. And once he gets onto it, he just smashes it past the keeper with great technique. What an emphatic finish that is.
The pontiff stated that his heart
James.
hurts, especially for the many abducted boys and girls and their grieving
And the
families.
full
He
kit's unable to
urged
retain
competent
possession.
authorities to take appropriate and timely decisions to ensure the hostages' release, while calling on the faithful to pray that churches and schools remain places of safety and hope. Now, the Pope's intervention
Kevin De Bruyne
adds another
can keep the
international
ball.
pressure on Nigerian authorities to
There's a
secure
little
the
bit too
country.
much height
Like
on
I
that
said
one.
earlier, there are 353 victims still in captivity in Niger State alone, and 24 girls
So making
still
the
in
substitution
captivity.
now. Lucy Bronze. Dabinia.
Ready to show you boys how it's done?
Rice with it.
Just have a chill. Cold weather.
10 minutes to go then. Referee had a good view of that one.
It was 9
Did
a.m.
well
when I
to
woke
win
up
the ball
without
back.
breakfast. I was ready to see what the city could offer. Then I met Nora.
Dabinia.
She whispered 2 words to me. Wave spot. In the space of a fly, inspired by Houdini, true magic. I decided it was time to head out. But then I
Oh, got
spot
into
something.
position
A
brilliantly.
cheap big bar. It was giving retro glamour. Full. I looked at the
Effective
time.
pressure.
It was late. The hotel had stolen the show. You really had to be there.
Activity in Kebbi State.
And they'll get
Finally,
ready for
also,
the throw-in.
comments made by Reverend Dachimo, who stated that he's been told to stop speaking, and the fact that he's angered by the
We're
federal
racing away
government
here.
saying that there is no Christian genocide, and he also,
Gianni.
condemned Sheikh Gumi's
Big
allegations of, or actually it wasn't Sheikh Gumi that stated it, it was a doctor. He said it on
Looked like
Facebook
a
that they were
certain
burying
goal, but
empty
that's a great
coffins.
challenge.
That was
Okay,
a
so
really
there's a
dangerous
saying that
situation.
truth is bitter. In Nigeria,
Possibilities for
it
them
says
to
that
counter.
truth should not be accommodated, or there's
Oh,
a
how about that for a
resistance
chip?
as to where to truth.
Savour it.
What
Oh,
Reverend
brilliant.
Dachimo has been saying has been
Well, let's see this
consistent.
again. This is
I mentioned it a
counter-attacking
number of
football at
times
its
that
very
the
best.
reason
And
why
what a
the
great
voices
finish it
were
is. He just
silent
lifts the ball
on
over the
why
keeper
there's this
into the back of the
quarrel
net.
around
That's a
Christian genocide
well-constructed
is
goal.
that the government seems to be
And the
paying
full kit's unable to
little
hang
or
on
no
to it.
attention, or at best ignoring the calls from Christians who are living in the middle belt of
Well,
Nigeria,
terrific
that's
skill.
Jos, Plateau State, Benue
And
State.
there it is, the
This
final
call
whistle.
was not
And the
only
fans
made
will be leaving the...
post President Trump's tweet. A number of times, Christians have been calling out and speaking out as to how they have been attacked deliberately, they've been targeted, churches have been burned, there have been mass graves being built with nothing being done. What the Trump tweet just did was amplify the voices of advocates who have been speaking for a very long time. I have said that if only the government, in response to this, would even, as a show of fact that we are listening, open an inquiry, ask people to come and have